Hey Crafty Friends, this is Julissa of Paper Gems by Jules, and today I am using all 3 of the brand new cat silhouette stamps by Unity Stamp Company. And I'm creating 3 different scenes using these silhouette stamps. On 2 of them I'm using colored cardstock, one of them I am creating a background using one of the layering balloon stencils that Unity has. For this one, I was creating a sympathy card. So I started with a craft paper, stamping the beautiful, this one is Fur Baby Love is the name of this particular cat. Again, these are all individual stamps that you can buy individually, or you can buy the bundle that's available now. So I'm just using some browns, and then I will touch up on the color on the edges with black a little bit later, black soot. For this one, I am using a blue base. So this is black stamped on a blue cardstock. And what you'll see is as you use darker shades of blue, it just highlights, it creates a very soft blend without you having to use additional ink because you've already got that base of blue. And just like in the other one, it started with a kind of a soft tan, and then you go in with darker brown, so it creates a natural highlight. And it looks like a much smoother blend, but truthfully, it's the original cardstock. So you can see this cardstock that I'm using is kind of flimsy as I keep bending the edges. For this last one, I stamped the image on white cardstock, and this cat is adorable. This one is, gosh, what's the name of this pretty little kitty? I think that one's Perfect Playtime, right? The other one is Fluffy Feline. Anyway, now I'm using the layering balloon stencil, also by Unity and available. So this stencil, what I love is that it really has multiple uses. So there's 2 layers and you can line them up. There is a marker on the lower left-hand corner, depending on how you look at it. So you line that up, and that way each of the layered balloons can balance each other out and fill in the gaps. But you can also flip it over, and you'll see that I do that in a little bit. So I'm starting out with some soft oranges. So I'm using dried marigold to start. I'm going to fill all of these balloons in. And I'm also using a piece of Post-it tape to cover my fingers from touching everything and possibly spreading the ink. And I'm also covering the balloons that I'm not filling in. So I'm only going to use balloons in certain sections for this. It's so simple to use. I love this stencil. I love using different colors for the balloons or using all the same colors. But this is where I really have fun. So I started out with a bigger blender, but I'm going to change this up in a bit. So just bear with me. But now I'm filling it in with a darker orange. This is when I realized I think I need a smaller brush. So I get the smaller orange brush. But the color that I'm using here is Ripe Persimmon. These are all distress inks that I'm using. And so I'm shading it using the darker color, but leaving a highlight. And this kind of gives a natural highlight for these balloons as you would see them if the light was shining on them. So you'll see I come back and forth on these and fill them in. Again, really fun stencil. You can use all of the balloons, you can use some of the balloons, you can use one of the balloons. Choice is yours. But in a minute, you'll see that I could have used the other stencil, but I didn't like the way it was lining up. It just was covering too many other things, and I wanted to leave it where the balloons were kind of floating. So here I am kind of figuring out, how do I do this? This is using the other stencil. So there's 2, it's a 2-part stencil, and I'm trying to line it up, and I end up realizing if I flip over the one that I use, it lines up perfectly. So I'm just going to clean off the ink that was on there from the previous, clean up my mess. And now I'm going to dry it, make sure that it's dry, because then you'll make a mess of your inks, especially distress inks, because they react with water. So now I'm just lining this up, and again, you can place this wherever you want. Wherever you want. You can move this, you can use it however you want. It is meant to be layered in a certain way, but again, this is art, so you do what you want. I figured I'd keep this fun and use some yellows. So now I'm starting with the squeezed lemonade to create the next balloons. Looking for my Post-it, and so here we go. I'm gonna start with the lighter color again, shooting to create that highlight. So use the lighter yellow and then you go back to the darker yellow, which I think the color I used was mustard seed, and you'll see that later. I listed all the colors in the comments. I put comments in the video so that way you could see which colors I used in case you want that as a reference to try it again, to recreate this. With this light yellow, I kind of have to go a little heavy-handed with it to make sure that it gets color. Even these side ones, so cute. Such a fun stencil, it really, really is. And this stencil also comes with a coordinating stamp set if you wanted it, which you can use to stamp inside that bigger balloon on the other stencil. But here we are using the darker yellow, which is again the mustard seed. So I'm just filling this in. There's only 3 balloons, and you'll see how cute this comes out at the end. And truth is, you could use a whole rainbow of balloons, which would be so fun. I haven't tried that yet, but that sparked an idea, so we'll see if you see that in the upcoming photos or possibly a video, who knows. Anyway, so we're done with these balloons. Super simple, just did 3, keep it at an odd number, and look how cute, right? Thought about doing some more, but no, just gonna skip it. All right, so now I'm just gonna put these all together. All right, so now let's put these cards together. Okay, so I'm going to start with the cute birthday balloon one. I pulled out the Hearts of Autumn stamp kit, and these sentiments are so cute and perfect. You can also find similar ones with the adhesive transfers if they're available, and foil this because that would look awesome. When I stamped the happy birthday with black ink, it looked fine. I really wanted to do the cursive happy in colors, so but I feel like the happy birthday portion got lost, so I ended up stamping it on black cardstock using white pigment ink. When I am heat embossing with white embossing powder on a dark cardstock, I like to use white pigment ink because that allows that white base to highlight the white embossing powder even more, where Versa Mark is clear. All right, little fun fact. This is a sympathy card. I started with just a black panel to put it on, but then I felt like it needed more, so I added a white card panel, and so I think it just frames it a little bit more. And then for the blue one, I also used white paint to create like a starry night. And for the sentiment, I used one of the fun cut apart sentiment strips. And for the previous one, I used Fur Baby Love for the sympathy card. So just trying to use my stash. We love to shop Unity stuff, and there's so much to have. There's so much to get, but it all works well together. So I will list all of the supplies in the details below. It will be on the blog, but feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and if you have any questions, please post them below and I will be more than happy to go over them with you. Thanks so much, and I hope you found some inspiration. Happy crafting!